$6.50 the ounce and still be in a similar pattern as what I'm showing you right now from history. Now, everyone in this room knows for a fact that we're still in a gold bull market. There's no doubt about it. Psychologically, though, there are a lot of people that probably sold in here or sold on the way down. And then we made this U bottom. You could call it a V, but it'd be a big V. It took a lot of time. I'll call it a U bottom to get back up to $200 the ounce. Well, let's say you bought here at 200 and you told your wife how smart you were, only to watch it come down, down, down. And then it came all the way back, and you finally told your wife, you know what, that David Morgan's an idiot, but at least I got out at $200 the ounce. Only to watch it bounce around a little bit and then take off for the big move. That's what I expect to happen again. This is my work. This is what I believe. It doesn't mean it necessarily is going to happen. No one can absolutely tell you we haven't lost the bull market. But what I am suggesting is that these kind of move downs can take place and still remain in a major uptrend. Monetary considerations, M3, credit supply is going up exponentially. M1's moving up. This is what happened in Weimar, Germany. This is one silver dollar equivalent, 4 trillion Rene marks. And those that don't know, I'm sure a lot of you have heard my lectures before, but I like to use this slide a lot. I was looking at this about 3 years ago, and I thought, actually, that isn't a bad trade because all that paper has heating value, BTUs. You can burn that stuff. And an ounce of silver for all of that heating ability, really, that's kind of a commodity trade. And then my friend in Australia sent me this slide. Lo and behold, this woman is burning the paper to heat the factory. So it hadn't reached its commodity value. It's a book I wrote I did not write the book, excuse me. It's a book I'm publishing as the 10 Rules of Silver Investing. It was published here in the United Kingdom several years ago. That's my website. It's a twofold website. It's a public domain website, silver, don't forget the hyphen, -investor.com. And then there's this members-only section here that's a members-only paid subscription service, where my best thinking, hopefully, is at. Additional to that, that's a copy of the front page of the PDF file. All my work's on the Internet. I don't send out hard copies anymore. And they can be downloaded and printed on your own printer. It's pretty simple. What do? We do a lot. We do a bit with no market timing. I've been pretty accurate, although I did call the bottom around 1250 and was wrong. I promptly admitted I was wrong, but it didn't help anybody that was leveraged. We have insights all over the market, from the LBMA, the COMEX. I'm a top-down analyst. I look at all aspects of the market, including junior mining companies. By the way, as a full disclaimer, every company out there that is on display, I own stock in every one of those companies. My book that was already mentioned, been translated into German. Key points: silver is sought by investors all over the world. And what I see happening in the future is people understand what's going on in the financial system, even though they might be not that eloquent talking about it. They might not understand it on any level other than rudimentary, but they know that fiat currencies always blow up. And most nations of the world understand it better than the Anglo-Saxon nations, actually, ironically. So I believe that when silver really goes, it is not going to be anybody that knows or listened to or studied or bought the report from David Morgan or Ted Butler or Jason Hommel or any known silver expert or gold expert. It's going to be people that probably never heard of any of us, that inherently know that the only way to protect themselves is to get into a real tangible asset. I don't see this thing going much longer, actually. I do not see these type of low prices in paper terms lasting another 2 years. Now, it could, but I doubt it. Now, we have two cross currents that are very difficult to understand right now, and I wrote about it in my most recent report. We certainly have a deflationary situation going on right now, and I think that it will be overcome by the paper printers. But regardless, I think the more important question to ask is that one that, again, Mr. Turk asked, and that is, name one fiat currency that stood the test of time. So the fundamental question actually becomes, one of paper versus reality, one in the physical realm versus one in the hypothetical realm. Because we're in a situation that we have never been in before in world monetary history, and that is where the reserve currency of the world is not backed by anything. So I believe there'll be a rush into everything silver and gold eventually, and I don't think it's going to take that long. Now remember, it's difficult to get physical gold and silver right now from the retail side. And so when things quiet down in the markets, people will seek anything gold and silver. And the easiest thing for most people is to buy the underlying mining equities, because almost everybody, at least in the U.S., has a mouse, a computer, and some type of trading platform. So there'll be a rush into this that I think will make the 1980s look like a warm-up. We'll see. So now I've got a couple minutes left, and not to disappoint anyone with my DVD situation, I brought one along. And I realize I am in London, and I know I'm in Great Britain, and I know that what I'm about to say may upset some people, and I'm not here to upset anyone. But I am, without a doubt, a huge idealist. But I believe we need idealists in the world. Because without striving for something that cannot be obtained, we'll settle for too little. This is a film clip of William Wallace, who I knew was a Scotsman and went against England. But the point of this movie is something that's very near and dear to my heart. And I used to close out all of my lectures with a brief about freedom. The hard money movement or the honest money movement, to me, is more about freedom and liberty than anything else. People choosing what real money is, not government's edict. And I really don't care from a philosophical point of view of how high the silver price goes in dollar terms, because to me, I care much more about what my daughter's lifestyle is going to be like moving forward. What kind of freedom are they going to have to choose where they work, when they work, what they can buy, how they can think, who's watching them, where they go? What kind of choices can they make? That to me is far, far more important than how much money I make in the market. And so with that, since I don't know this history very well, it talks about William Wallace, and in this very small brief it says, great men and women make history happen through their passion, whether good or ill. A power-mad, charismatic leader can gain himself an empire only to have it turn to dust upon his death. Because the hearts of people have been left untouched. William Wallace was a great man whose passion for national freedom, and I would interject world freedom, kindled the spark of independence, sheltered within the breast of every Scot, into an unquenchable flame that burns to this day. His impact on the people of his time and of all time was immediate and permanent. So hopefully this will work, because this starts off at the end of the movie where all he has to do is give up his passion, give up his conviction, give up what he's living for, and admit that the lords that be are the masters. And all he has to do is utter the word. But you'll probably remember what happens. Do I press it one more time or not? You're going to play, or do I press it? Sorry, that big buildup. I was really ripping there for a while, don't you think? I got my daughter one. Yeah. I used to use them. I started on a Mac, actually. There's so many conflicts when I started. I had to.
The prisoner wishes to say a word.
and defiance and tyranny. You've come to fight as free men. Free men you are. What will you do without freedom? Will you fight?